Hey everyone, Good Old here. So this is the reroll guide for Super Robot Wars DD for 2021, and what I'm hoping to cover in this video is going to be, the definition of the type of players and why reroll is important. I'll talk about the importance of resource management, the gem count comparison between a new account and a starter account, the selectors that you have in the game, as well as important banners and the free-to-play Trinity, as we so call it, in the game. So first of all, the definition of my personal definition for the various type of players are as follows. You have your super competitive players who will be pulling for all the meta units, all the meta parts. They are going to dish out quite a bit of money to top the leaderboard, especially if you're joining just now. It's going to be quite difficult to catch up, but of course with enough money you can. The other part is the semi-casual, semi-competitive, and where I would consider myself to be. So both my accounts started after the first year and a half, around that time, and they were both starter accounts, so I had ample resources to do whatever I want, and I still reached the end game and quite high ranking in terms of where I am for the end game and for IB, which is one of the other game modes that are recently introduced a few months ago. I always get the S rank reward, which guarantees you the chip you need, which I'll talk about in my other videos. But that is kind of the semi-competitive. You'll be reaching the end game parts with ease and also pushing for extreme levels in conquest modes. The third type I would say is more casual. You just want to play the units you want to play. And sorry, I forgot to mention semi-competitive. You have to pull for the meta units. You have to plan your resources and pull for units that are just more broken than others. That's just how it is. Whereas in casual, you're really only spending gems on the units you want. So for example, if you're a Gundam fan, you only spend them on Gundam units. If you are a Code Geass fan, you only buy parts for Code Geass. So that's how I would define it. And of course, you don't care, you just want to complete the story, push as far as you can in Conquest, and be happy with that. So more casual players tend to lean towards that. And lastly, I added this: if you're a collector, and you can be a casual collector where you're just collecting parts for the series you care about, or you are a hardcore collector pulling every banner. And of course, that the latter is going to be quite difficult because the gem cost is quite expensive. So for the importance of resource management, and in this case it's not just gems which allow you to pull for parts for the units you want, it's also relating to orbs, resources that you use to upgrade your pilots to make your units super strong. I'll have a dedicated video for that later on, but just know that in this game, if you're starting out now, resource management is going to be very important, and it's the difference maker between someone who can catch up to mid-game or late-game players in a matter of days or weeks versus someone who's just going to be stuck for months end. So resource management starting from gems is important, and rerolling will help you. So how do you exactly reroll? Unfortunately, there is no fast way. You download the game, you go through the tutorials, and it pretty much at this end of the tutorial in about 15 to 20 minutes, you'll be at this stage where you can pull on the gacha. And what I'll show you is this is the Taiwanese server account, and after I collect all the gifts and everything, it's about 325 gems. We had an event where it was the 30th Super Robot anniversary. You got 1500 gems off the bat, but now we're back to the 325. So of course it makes rerolling rather difficult, but right now there is the second anniversary event going on, so you get 4 times 10 pulls with guaranteed SSR, so that makes everything a bit easier. But of course, you can see this is my account, which I just bought today for $10 US. It's a starter gem account, and it has about 20,000 gems at the same stage. So this is after tutorial, didn't clear any stories, and you can see the big difference in terms of me being able to have that resources to pity to pull for units. And if you look at the pricing right now, and of course this is during the discount, so it's 1,000 gems for 115, and normally it's 760 gems for 115. Essentially, this is going to cost you, if you were to recharge top up, 2.6 1,000 US dollars, right? So if you're going to spend money, please get a starter account. You can ask in the Discord. You can go on Game Trade, which is a Japanese website. This is where I buy my starter accounts, and it's going to come with a few limited supports you can't get now. So if you're planning to spend money at all, always go for a starter account, unless you're months in and you have a stable roster of units and you just don't want to, restart. But even if you're at that stage, I would say right now, if you get a starter account, you can go to Area 9, fully auto Area 9 within a week. And if you're really lucky with the rerolls and the units you get, you could probably reach Area 10 in 2 weeks and clear that. So of course, it's going to be dependent on you as a player. Some people just want to be completely free to play, which is fine as well. So I'll have a video kind of showcasing the resources from the starter account and doing my initial polls. But in this video, I'll just take an example as if you are a completely free to play. So you do a tutorial, you have 325 gems. So at your arsenal, you're going to have a few things. First of all, you have selectors. So this is great for new players because you can pick the unit as well as the first SSR for that unit right off the bat as you start the game. And because of their advertisement error, you get 2 straight away. So my recommendations is actually don't go picking your parts just yet. Wait for your polls, because you can do a few polls, see what you get. You might actually get the parts you want for the unit you're hoping to get, and you can pick something else. But we'll come back to this. There are a lot of good choices, and most people, if they don't have it already, go for Shingetter, because Shingetter has a heal, is super strong. Masin Kaiser is also a good choice, and Hainu is definitely a top choice as well if you can get his SSR2. And then we have the free-to-play Trinity, which I'll talk about. Guisen, or I forgot how to pronounce his name properly, I didn't watch IBO, but this is a premier tank which has immunity and just a very beefy stat. Duel from Wing Zero is another free-to-play Trinity unit, because there are 3 of them. He's going to be your dodge tank, and because of his built-in crit, it's a perma hot blood or soul essentially, so he's got decent damage as well. And the last one is Granzon. Granzon, you ideally want to have his SSR2, and he's a conquest unit, which you unlock later on, but because you can exchange all of his orbs, it's easy as well. So one of the common themes across the 3 free-to-play Trinity units is you can exchange all of their orbs. So before their limited event orbs, you could not exchange it, but now you can. So it's harder to explain this in greater detail without kind of going over, I guess, 20 minutes, 10-minute mark, but you can always ask in the Discord what we mean by that. But essentially, as a free-to-play player, you don't have to spend money to pull on their banner to get their orbs, which enable them to be super strong pilot-wise. So skip the selector for now, and let's talk about the banners you can pull as a beginner. So because you only have 325 gems, you're not really going to pull much. So I would say the best right now is for players to pull on there's the 2nd anniversary Hitsatsu SSR X2. So for 250 you get 2 level 100 SSRs. And what you really want to aim for is one or both of them ideally to be the SSR2 for the Holy Trinity, because then you can use the selector to pick up the SSR1 for one of the units and go from there, make that as your most important unit and focus your resources. As you initially start, it's very important to focus your resources. Otherwise, you're just going to be spreading them too thin and you can't do anything about it. As for me, with a gem starter account, I'll actually do all 5 of those pulls. So this will be 1,250 gems plus all 5 of the support SSR, and that's another 1,250. So altogether 2,500 gems, which is still not a lot in the grand scheme of things with a starter account, but they'll give me enough unit parts to start the game in a very comfortable position. And of course, if you have a gem starter account, there is a limited banner that's upcoming. It's the Freedom Limited and the Altisan Limited banner, which we can see in the announcement. And Alt is going to be one of the best units. Prior to this, there was no way to get it if you missed the limited, and because this is now a rerun, definitely on this account I'm going to be focusing on this unit as my core. It's got immunity to debuff, it's got stacking, attack buff, and also it has enemy mobility and attack down, making it a viable tank as well. So you'll see me pull that in the days to come, and I'll track and share my progressions throughout this account as well. But again, I urge you to try to get a starter count, otherwise you can be spending ages on the rerolls and it's just not worth it time wise. I mean, if you spend an hour, I'm sure if you're working, minimum wage is over $10 per hour, so just think of it as saving time, saving money. So hopefully your reroll goes well, and of course I will have another video kind of showing my breakdown of how my reroll goes. And of course, for the starter account, not only do you get those gems, you also get about 70 tickets, the anniversary tickets, and you get some limited parts. So I think on this account, you can see I already have the 2 miles, not bad. I have Inako. I think it did not pull the previous limited banner, which kind of sucks. Usually these starter accounts does come with the supports that are limited from previous banners, but it's fine. This is a good support as well. But yes, that will be for the next video, and I hope to see you there.